Okay, I'm going to put that back over here. And let's see. Oh, another thing I forgot to tell you. I have my paper towels. You're going to need those. And you're going to need some water. You're going to need the water to clean your brushes. So I have a wonderful gift that someone gave me. And at the time they gave it to me, I didn't think it was anything special. But I found it to be a wonderful item. That's this water bucket. Pretty jumbo-sized water bucket. That was the first thing I thought, what on earth am I going to do with such a large bucket? But what I found out is it works really well. The reason is because I don't have to change my water. I can do a whole painting, not get up, and I don't have to change the water. And it has several compartments. This is where, you don't see my setup, but it's down here. I put my trash on this side, and then over here I put my water, I fill it up. And look at this nice little area. This is where I tape a paper towel across. So when I splash in the bucket, cleaning my brush, I drag it across the paper towel. And that is really important. You know why? Because when you start painting in the thick oil, you don't want any of that water in your paint. You want it to be oil paint. Okay, so, another thing. If you're a student, this is great in the studio, but if you're a student, you can use it to carry your art supplies as well. You can put things in here, and it's a wonderful little bucket. So, with all that being said, let's start our painting. Now, I teach in a method that I believe is a simple way to paint. And one of the things I like to do is warm my students up, and I say, get your brushes flowing. Start splashing around. And I put my brush in the water, and now I'm going to start putting it all over my panel. Now, you might think this is kind of silly, but it isn't. This is getting you warmed up, getting you to break through and get some movement going. You could even imagine your subject. Pretend you're painting an apple. You can do anything you want with this. You're not going to make a mistake, are you? Okay. So now that's done, but there's another reason. I'm going to make this a toned canvas. A toned canvas is putting dark value on a white canvas. And in oil painting, we have a rule. It's paint with your darks first and build to your lights. So why would you want to start on a white canvas? Let's tone that canvas. There we go. Now, see, I'm having fun. I'm moving around. Turning my brush, I can pretend that I'm painting whatever, but really you want to loosen up. I'm going to dip in some water, get it nice and wet and flowy. Now, a mistake would be just to keep the value real light. You do want to put a nice dark value on there. People are afraid at first to put paint on a canvas. Can't make mistakes doing this. This is fun. Okay, got my canvas covered with some paint. Now I'm going to find my apple. So I start with my larger form first. You know what that is? It's either the background or the foreground. So I'm going to start by finding my table. I'm going to lighten up my table. It's lighter in value. Erasing it. As I do this, my process is putting my brush in water and lifting. Okay, here I'm lifting away. I'm going to come on this side of the apple and lift. This is easy, isn't it? This is a lot of fun. Just brush. And, you know, some people will begin a painting by drawing. Well, why would you draw on a painting? Why not draw with your brush instead of a pencil? You know, use a nice brush, a nice quality brush, and you can get all kinds of fine marks. Coming down to this table line. And I'll draw this side. Oops, you can't see that too much, can you? That's okay. I'll find it later. Oops, I think I better lower it. Oops, oops, oops. Boy, I can make changes, can't I? I can come back and make changes so easy in a thin wash. And this, my dear students and artists, is the wonderful thing about the Water Mixable Oil by Martin F. Weber. And that is that in a traditional oil painting, you know what you'd be using right now? You would be using solvents. Who wants solvents in their hand and in the air around them, you could just use water and get what we use in traditional painting. This is a very, very important way to begin a painting. It's been done throughout the ages by all the masters. This isn't anything I'm inventing, toning a canvas and blocking in. No, this has been age old, but today we don't have to use solvents. Okay, I better find my apple. So some areas aren't lifting. I think I want more white. I'm going to take a rag, put it in water, and then I'm going to rub over here and lift my white of my table. Now that's as easy as apple pie. It's almost as delicious as apple pie. Okay, so here I'm going to darken this a little bit. These values are very close. I can squint. If you squint at your picture, let's do that. Squint at the painting. You see these values? They're very close. Now if we come back down to here, my values are very close, and that's fine. I'm going to lift my stem as a reminder to paint a stem. Sometimes I forget these little things. And then I'm going to go over and notice that my light is coming from this side. Let's go up to my painting. My light is coming from this side, and it's lighting this section of the apple. This section of the apple is all in shadow. So that's what I'm going to be painting. There are certain parts of light and shadow that you want to learn about. So we want to keep this side of my apple in light. See how I'm lifting? And this side's in shadow. Now on this side, we have a highlight. Maybe I'll use my rag and I'll lift up that highlight. Ooh, that was good. That worked out real well. Along the stem. And then over here, I'm going to enrich my darks at the bottom of the apple. You have those little lumpy shapes that make it apple-like. And so another thing about this method of painting is that when you paint with the washiness like this, when you block in a painting, you can study this painting over time. You don't have to get it all in one day. Let's say I want to take a break now. I want to go have a cup of coffee, or I have to go eat my dinner, or go pick up the kids at school. I can leave this on the mantle, and when I come back, I can study it, and I can say, oh, I need to make some changes. Then I can go back and make some more changes. So that's a very important part of this. Reason why you'd want to block in a painting with these washes.